Happy Mother's Day, everyone!
Happy Mother's Day. Whatever.
No one got a mom like me.
Oh, the way that the song that played at the end of this movie would probably play. I could see that same song working in the 2 horror films I've seen that are called Mother's Day. Like, it was kind of like when, like, Santa's Watching is playing at the end of Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah, but, like, not as good as that because they're not being ironic with it.
No.
Happy Mother's Day.
There's no irony in this. This is... you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say this is exactly what I thought it was gonna be.
It was what I thought it was gonna be and less.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, I had not seen anything about this until you asked me if I wanted to go see it, and I looked at the trailer. I'm like, this is the whole movie, and I can tell nothing happens in this movie, and nothing did.
When it ended... It just ends.
It just ended on, like, just a rant. If it had ended before that shot, it would have made more sense than just them just throwing in the mom joke, because it was the wedding. It was the ending of the wedding. It's like, that would have been a fine ending, but then they're just like, and here's the mom's making a joke. By the way, until they were in a shot together, I was not convinced it was not the same woman playing both moms.
Oh.
It just looked like her. I'm like, did they do brown face? Is that what
I
they
would
did?
not put it past this movie, to
was
do
racist.
brown face.
This was fucking racist.
Oh, Lord, yes. This movie is... Here's what this movie is, honestly. It is, if you took a Pure Flix movie and took the religion out of it, that's this movie. Because it has, like, a lot of the same bad things that exist in movies like Mom's Night Out, or even, like, Do You Believe, or God's Not Dead. The stuff in it about him that's really bad, but it really doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the movie's religious. There is this older couple in the movie that is so lazily written and tired and cliched that it's basically the right-wing stereotype version of the liberal blogger from God's Not Dead. Because, okay, one of the million plot lines in this movie is that there's this elderly couple who are from Texas, and in case you don't know, they're probably a little conservative. They might as well be driving the fucking Straight Talk Express bus on their way to pick up some fucking Larry the Cable Guy potato chips right before they go to the Trump rally. He is literally sucking on a piece of chicken as he's driving.
Well, like, you know, the dad's like, I like all American things, and the mom's like, I hate gays and minorities. And, you know, it's like, okay, the joke's supposed to be at their expense, but
it's lazy.
It's lazy and not funny anyway.
Yeah.
But they play it off like it's just funny and not a severe problem.
No, it's not satire.
Yeah, because, like, the mom makes a racist joke at the Indian mom. And then she's like, that sounds very racist and funny.
But hilarious. So it's okay. It's telling the audience that it's okay to laugh at the racist joke.
Yeah, and, like, the movie itself is just racist. Like, not even at their expense, just racist. They have the scene where the RV that they're in, there's like a car chase that is not a car chase, which is a whole other thing. But anyway, the police pull them over, and when everyone comes out, there's a bunch of white people. And then when the Indian guy comes out, they're like, oh, hands up, get down! Like, they think that he's a terrorist or something. And that's the joke. Yeah,
the joke is that the redneck couple is racist, and that's the joke. The joke is that the cops point the guns at Asif Manvi and tell him to get down on the ground. There's no satire there. It's just simply doing... It is like...
You're supposed to laugh at the racist jokes, not at their expense with them. Like, oh, I think that he's a little dark or a little tan, and, like, making fun of the kid, and it's like, this is not funny.
No, it's the exact same thing as the liberal blogger from God's Not Dead, only on the reverse side. Like in God's Not Dead, where the blogger goes up to, like, the redneck couple and says, like, oh, let me guess, you're, like, working in the kitchen? I'm surprised they let you out of the house. And has, like, a vegan bumper sticker and, like, coexist and all this stuff, and is just really condescending. It's like, you're not saying anything here, you're just doing the stereotype. That's it. And the reason why in this movie that this older couple is like this is just because their two daughters in the movie, one of them Kate Hudson, the other Sarah Clark. So Kate Hudson is married to an Indian. So, the parents are going to be pissed because interracial relationship. But even better, Sarah Clark's character is a lesbian who's married to fucking Cameron Esposito.
This family is made up of assholes. Everyone.
Yeah.
I don't side with anyone in this because, first of all, racist, homophobic parents. Mostly the mom, but the dad too. Secondly, the daughters are assholes too. This is not like this was like things that they sprung on them like that were like hidden for a little bit, like, oh, they went and eloped and this just happened. They have children together.
Children who are like age ranges from maybe 3 or 3 at the most, maybe, but still not like a baby. They're not infants,
so they didn't tell them about their children. Like, I would understand the marriage is more than children. Like, you robbed them of experiencing these things with their grandchildren.
I totally thought the same thing because I was like, yeah, okay, I got some old racists in my family too, but when I was married, they knew about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you at least give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even over, like, a big fight, it doesn't seem like. Like, they made up super easy, because every conflict in the movie is super easy to solve.
This is, like, the conflict that the kids have with their parents is, like, they're racist, and they're bigoted and whatnot, but it's like sitcom, like it's a sitcom. It's like they interact in this the same way that you see like fucking Everybody Loves Raymond, like Deborah arguing with Doris Roberts.
Yeah, like, and it's one of those things like they'll say something really hurtful, but then they sort of just kind of, everyone gets over it, like, that's just the parents. So it's like, why was this a falling out? That they kept all of these things from them. And not only from them, from the husband, too. And I think from the wife. I'm not sure, because they didn't give her a lot of lines.
Thank God. Cameron Esposito's annoying. Like, this movie is so bad that, honestly, Cameron Esposito is one of the least annoying things about it.
I'm not familiar with her, so I don't know.
She's a stand-up.
Okay. I didn't think she was bad in it, but she didn't have a lot to do.
Honestly, no. She was fine. They really don't give her that. I was under the impression that she knew about the parents and kind of knew what their situation was. Yeah,
it was a little bit vague with that, but the husband, he didn't know, because he was told that the parents were like had dementia and they were in some facility somewhere or something, and like everyone just keeps lying to each other, and they solve it through lying, and through pretending they're going to die.
Yeah, through the fucking crazy old man driving his giant fucking bus RV through like a suburban neighborhood, like pretending that the brakes are out, like, whoa, oh no, the brakes are out. And then it cuts to like the Skype screen with the Indian mom on there who's watching it and going like, whoa, what is going on? Like, the only thing that would have made that joke work is if the mom on the screen was also going, whoa, like she was also shaking.
It was one of those like only in movies, HD perfect quality Skype calls.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone looks crystal clear, and I'm like, okay, if this even existed, you're not gonna make me believe that the fucking mom that doesn't even know how webcams work has this HD cinematic Skype
that she's using on an RV when they're driving.
Wi-Fi, I guess.
Where they're driving through the woods, where I've used Wi-Fi in areas that they're in before. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not. You're not going to be getting that good of Skype reception on it. And that's just one of the storylines in this. And by the way, this is the kind of movie where this is like... The same moms who liked Mom's Night Out were probably in the same theater that we were in, so that they'd probably like it, because our audience seemed to like it. So the first time... I
hated everyone laughing at all of these dumb
I did
jokes.
too, like, because the first line that Kate Hudson has in this movie is she comes out of the house and says like, I ate a whole coffee cake last night.
Pilates?
What?
Okay, first of all, when we went into this, like, I'm biased anyway because I hate this kind of movie. I just hate romantic comedies. But like as soon as a second in, when they start going like, no one's got a mom like my mom, but we're like made a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
And then when that's one of the first things that happens is like, I ate a whole coffee cake Pilates. Like it's like, it's one of those kind of movies, like so insulting. Like, this is what women like. We eat yogurt and laugh at salads.
This yogurt is like half off shoe sale good. Man, like, oh god, yeah. So, and one of the plots too is like one of the boyfriends in it is a stand-up comedian, and
terrible stand-up. Everyone terrible.
Yeah,
they're like the gotta lol people.
Yes.
And those milk commercials, like, you got a little crap mayonnaise.
That's what it is.
It's exactly that.
Oh yeah, because their jokes are like, well, I just, me and my wife, we just had a kid. Why are you applauding? Like, it's not mine. Like,
Okay, they had the bit, the most realistic part of the movie, actually, when he's doing all this terrible stand-up, and he's stuck with the kid, and he can't get the mom to come pick the kid up, so he's got to do his act with the kid. And you know exactly what's going to happen. He's going to get the cute baby vote and win this contest.
Oh, that's like...
Which is the most realistic thing, because it's not any fucking material, it's just because he's a cute baby.
That's the America's Funniest Home Videos rule.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
That's the only part I believed in that.
Although I took that guy would absolutely win that for that ludicrous reason, but his material, not that it was good, but it was better than any winning baby video I've ever seen on America's...
He did try a little more.
Yeah, he was trying. Like, he totally was. But then this being the kind of fucking movie it is, the women in the audience, not our audience, but the women in the stand-up audience in the movie watching the stand-up are seeing this. Most of them start saying like, oh, I want a baby, and like looking at their boyfriend or something like that, and that's the kind of movie this is. It's
so pandering and so like...
It's a cynical film.
It's a cynical film, but all of the jokes are like so played out and cliched, and they pick the worst ones. Like they do the gag where the dad's got to go buy tampons for the kid.
God damn it!
And then they do the I got a price check on these tampons, and then like Jennifer Aniston starts a conversation like, oh, you got daughters, and I was about ready to just go like, this doesn't happen.
No,
this does not happen in any world, and it's not funny anyway.
No, the tampon thing, really, we're still doing the fucking tampon type, like the guy has to go buy, I've been asked to go buy tampons before. You know what I do? I go buy them. Yeah, who gives a shit?
Nobody cares. Everyone has to get tampons. Granted, I guess some guys don't, but so many people buy them. It's not like every time a tampon is bought, someone's like, oh, tampons?
What? Are these for you? Guys don't need that. Like, and that joke is from Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton, where he's checking. That was actually kind of funny when it happened. One, it was 1982, so it probably was a guy, a suburban husband's like, I don't know if I want to buy that. So like, but when she's checking in that movie, when she's checking, like, oh, I need to have a price check on these. Like, hey, Irv, and then he quickly grabs the microphone and goes like, oh, never mind, Irv, sorry, forget it. And like,
forget the tampons.
Yeah.
Like, this is a world where no one takes the hint anyway. Like, even if someone was embarrassed by that, you would understand that that's what the deal was there. But you wouldn't do it anyway. You would call over a cashier, you'd be like, I need a price check. And then they would come over and put the code in or whatever. You don't announce what the item is. That doesn't even happen. Even if it wasn't a tampon, you wouldn't be like, I need a price check on these milk bones here. Like, you don't do that.
I need which I'm gonna test this. I'm gonna go buy Magnum condoms, peel the price tag off of it. Like, I need a price tag on these extra large Magnum condoms. Like, oh, cut it out. You're embarrassing me. Don't do that.
But that would be like in a Seth Rogen comedy. That wouldn't be this one.
My life.
This is like the tamest fucking humor. I only laughed twice at this. I laughed at John Lovitz.
Yeah.
When the one line when he's like, "Can you watch my baby?" No.
Yeah, and John Lovitz is now. John Lovitz is inexplicably doing a Howard Cosell impression.
Yeah.
Through the entire. And next our performer is. He's the host of the open mic night, and you and I both laughed at that part.
Yeah.
I laughed at a couple of the bloopers at the end. Most of them were stupid, but.
Yeah, the bloopers were funnier than the movie, but I don't give the movie credit for bloopers.
Oh Lord, no! Like there was one where like Julia Roberts is waiting for a train to go by so she can stay on her line, and the train keeps going, and she just is like she has to hold this smile. She's like, "How long is this fucking train?" And Jennifer Aniston accidentally called her Julia.
Yeah,
and ones like that. That was kind of funny, but
Jennifer Aniston got the other laugh out of me because I remember it was twice because they had a line where she has a heart to heart with a clown and whatever, but she's like, there was no one there to witness that, he could have killed me, and that made me laugh.
Oh yeah. That made Jennifer Aniston is good. I mean, I like Jennifer Aniston, but she was fine.
She's a little bit of an asshole at some parts too.
Yeah,
like I mean she was better than like asshole racist family or whatever.
Lord, yeah, because at least Jennifer Aniston, when she's being kind of unreasonable, it's like I get it. Like I get, not that I am necessarily siding with her, but I kind of get.
It's more understandable.
Yeah, I get the emotions that she's going through. I mean, it's totally predictable because Timothy Olyphant is her ex-husband, and he shows up and he's like, "Well, we need to talk later," and they're being kind of flirtatious. And Jennifer Aniston is wondering, like, is he
gonna be a wah-wah moment?
Yeah, it's like she's like, is he gonna get back together with me? And it's like watching this, I'm like, no, he's like gonna have another girlfriend, or he's gonna be married or something. And that's what happens. He's already remarried, and so her plot is she's kind of just like getting used to the fact that her kids now have a stepmom, and meanwhile she and Jason Sudeikis have kind of the awkward meet cutes, and oh god, there was one scene that you missed when you left the theater for a second. Fuck, you did see the callback on it though, like when they were at the candy machine, and she's like, "Give him your card, your gym card." And he's like, "Okay," gives her the gym card, and she's like, "What? This is the gym I go to." There was a scene earlier when you left the theater where he's talking to like his 3 lady friends who are movie lady friends, and they're always talking about guys, and that's it.
What are you gonna do for Mother's Day? None of your fucking business, you nosy bitches.
There's one lady in this movie who's a bigger girl, so her shtick is that she's too big to get off of the chair, and then she tries pole dancing at one point and doesn't do a good job, because what? She's overweight! She fell! That was what you meant. You missed her.
I missed that.
You missed her, like, trying to pole dance, and, but then Sudeikis is there talking to his lady friends, and one of them is on, like, a Stairmaster, and Jennifer Aniston walks through, and he, like, hides, because he doesn't want to see her, and he hides, like, behind the lady's ass as she's doing the Stairmaster, so it looks like he's just looking right at her ass, and she's like, "What are you doing back there?" And he's like, "What? Oh, just checking your form." And then he goes, "Good form," and slaps her on the ass. And then they just continue on with their conversation. As if that didn't just happen. Maybe that's their thing. I don't know. I just met these people.
I don't even know. You knew he and Jennifer Aniston were going to get together just because of the formula, but they had no chemistry because it seemed like he hates this woman.
Yeah.
And they don't give them any moments to change that until the end, sort of. It's like, why? That doesn't seem like he wants anything to do with her.
Yeah, it's nothing but like the awkward meet cutes every time they're on screen. It never goes beyond that.
It doesn't even get to the cute part. It's just awkward meets.
Yeah, because
with like extraordinary coincidence that connects everything.
Well, yeah, this being the kind of movie that it is. So like they run into each other at the store and in the hospital and at the gym, but she didn't see him. But he's not really. And Jason Sudeikis is a charming guy, but the lines that they give him, like, no matter how charming he is, he can't, when he's talking to Jennifer Aniston, he can't raise it above just sounding annoyed by her.
Yeah.
Not because of his, it's because of what the lines are. It's like,
well, no one has anything to work with.
No, not at all. And I mean, Jennifer Aniston certainly makes the most of what she's given, but even when they're meeting at the end and at the candy thing, he again just still seems sort of annoyed by her. And if this was a regular movie where like that would be like in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, we never actually see them go on a date or anything like that. It sets it up like they're going to. Yeah,
and like everyone in this movie acts like Mother's Day is like Christmas or something. Like, I mean, everyone, well, most people, you know, it's like you'll get something nice for your mom, you might do something for the day or whatever, but it's not like you're like, what are you doing for Mother's Day? You're not planning anything because your wife's dead? What? Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
You assholes.
Okay, there was another laugh this movie got out of me, but it was an unintentional one. Because Jason Sudeikis' wife, who's Jennifer Garner for 5 seconds of the movie, she's dead, and so at the beginning when we first see Sudeikis, he's at that cemetery with his 2 daughters, and he's coaching their soccer team, and he says something like, well, I'm probably going to be running a little late or something like that, and then the little girl goes like, Mom was never late for soccer practice.
Well, I was laughing at the movie. That was so dumb.
Yeah, that made me, like I said, that's an unintentional laugh, but I was like, the rest of the audience goes like, oh, like that, and I'm sitting there, and after the line was said, and I'm...
Where she was late the day she died.
Yeah, I leaned over to you, like, yeah, she's late, like, good one, Mom.
I left when, they were doing the terrible stand-up, and then someone was saying something like, oh yeah, they're super funny, they're gonna get a TV show out of this or something. I'm like, out of that material? Really now? Got a hole. You know how kids be kids.
You know how kids like cereal with milk? Why don't they just put the milk right in the bag? That's my time, folks. Good night. Because that's disgusting.
When did the jokes happen? I don't know. And Julia Roberts, she does a good job acting this.
Yeah,
because
she
does seem like a very sad, bitchy woman, I guess. She does a great job with it, but it never, until the very end, does not go anywhere. And it takes forever to do anything.
Yeah.
It seems like they're stretching the material to pretend she's in it more than she is. Because they just keep cutting between like her doing these infomercial sales or whatever.
It's like HLN type shit.
Yeah, I mean, it had to have been like an hour in at least before she was doing anything other than those cutaways.
Yeah, this being the kind of movie it was, I was like, eventually she's gonna know somebody, or she's gonna have some kind of... I knew from the
trailer what was gonna happen because they showed it. So.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right, so when's that gonna happen?
Like 90 minutes into this 2-hour movie. It was like what we were talking about earlier with like the Steven Seagal movies where they got him for 20 minutes and spread him over the course of the movie. Like, so every now and then it'll cut to Julia Roberts pitching some HLN item. Or not HLN, like QVC, headline news, QVC or whatever, the shop, HSN, there we go. I saw Joy, I should know this.
If it had turned into that, you were out of the theater, but maybe you'd seen the trailer for Money Monster?
I've seen that trailer so many times.
Into that?
Oh, it turns into Money Monster?
Someone like comes out with a bomb, Julia Roberts. She's in both.
She is. I've gotten the trailer for Money Monster so many times. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm sick of seeing the trailer for Money Monster.
Well, you missed the perfect thing then when you were gone.
I almost went back into the theater, and I was like, I saw that the trailer for Money Monster was on, and I go like, do I need to wash my hands a second time? I really don't, but I'm going to anyway. That movie might be perfectly fine, but I'm just sick of that. That's another trailer that looks like it gives every fucking thing away.
Oh, it totally gave the whole thing away.
Yeah.
The trailer looked good, but it's not my usual genre, but the trailer looked good, but I would want to see it a million times.
Man, now if Mother's Day,
it looked better than Mother's Day.
Oh well, yeah. Like if Mother's Day ended just violently, at least it would have had an ending. Because it
felt like things just happened. It didn't
yes!
feel like there was any progression. Maybe the wedding thing was the only real arc.
I guess.
Because she didn't know who she was, the girlfriend of the stand-up comic. And then she finds her birth mother, who was Julia Roberts. And then she finds this confidence in herself to finally marry this guy. And then they get married. That is an arc.
Yeah.
That was the only arc, and she was the only one that didn't come off like an extreme asshole.
No, not at all. But normally, even like I get like when you have a bunch of different storylines, it's like, well, this movie is so, it just could have, any of these endings could have been the ending to this movie because of the way it ended, where it was just like this, then this happens, and then credits. Well, that same thing could have happened if you just switched a couple of the ending sequences around. Usually in something like this, like, there is some big moment, which I get like you...
like at the wedding, they would all be there or something.
Or like there'll be like something to indicate that the movie is about to be over, like whether it like... You know, maybe it, I don't know, cuts to an exterior shot and it's just slowly backing away. And then some stupid song starts playing and the dog from Love the Coopers starts talking. Like, okay, well, the movie's about over, I guess. No, it didn't. It's just like, well, this is a thing that just happened and, like, we're going to talk about this Mother's Day thing. Credits.
Cutaway joke. Boop. It feels like in the script, it probably just did end with the wedding. Because I can't imagine them writing it like that and then ending it with the dumb mom joke. Because all it is them taking a selfie and that's it. You know?
Oh, now, it should have ended like Dr. T and the Women. One of the worst movies ever made, in which that movie had a lot of different plots going on. Have you ever seen this piece of shit?
No.
Oh, you would hate it. That movie ended with a wedding, and then Richard Gere gets really frustrated and drives away, and a tornado picks him up and transports him to Mexico, in which he then gives a live birth on camera from this pregnant woman and just delivers the baby. And then, like, the movie ends. It's really graphic.
It might as well have ended this one like that. At least then we'd be like, what the fuck was that ending?
Yeah, then, yeah. Like, suddenly a tornado takes Jason Sudeikis away, and he delivers the woman in the restaurant's baby.
Yeah, they do that.
Oh, that! Yeah, I forgot about that.
They have the woman that works at the restaurant who is not a character in this movie. She has maybe 2 lines. She's walking by and she's pregnant. So, you know, immediately you're like, okay, so she's going to give birth. Forget the character exists. Never seen again until... I don't know, when they decide they're going to get married, because the stand-up comic works at this bar, and then him and his girlfriend decide they're going to get married, and then everyone's like, yay, and she goes, oh, I think it's time. And then cut away, never seen again. Like, no. I think that was one of 10,000 ughs that got from me.
Same here. Well, I don't know if I did an at that point, because it was so close to the end, and every other trite sitcom cliched fuckery had just happened, that at that point, yeah, of course, okay, in this universe, it makes sense that would happen.
That was the worst possible delivery she could have done of that line, too. Like,
I think it's time.
I think it's time. Like,
oh. It'd be hilarious if,
you don't know from just one fucking contraction that's time. It's not like you're gonna be like, oh, it was like literally 1 second. It's
in
not
this
like
universe,
that's gonna happen.
Oh man. Again, sitcom rules of pregnancy. Like, in this
They didn't
universe...
even go, my water broke or something. That's the one that they use a lot. At least that one, you're like, yeah, okay, it's time.
It's a wedding. That would be awkward. Like,
She wasn't at the wedding. She was giving birth, I guess.
Oh, that would have been hilarious. Like, the way that this movie was, like, it would have been hilarious if at the beginning of the wedding, like, she's like, oh, I think it's time. And then it's like the wedding shit, and then it cuts back, and she's like holding a baby.
Well, that would be like an actual joke, and I don't think this movie's about that.
No, not at all.
It was just full of old ladies, this theater, like halfway full of old ladies.
They loved it.
They loved it, and all of them were in the bathroom afterwards. Like, I go in there, they're like, oh, that was so cute. I'm sitting there like, I'm not the demographic for this. This is not my movie.
No, it's not. This isn't even the kind of movie that I usually review for the site. This is normally the kind of thing that I ask, like, Brian to see, because he was at, like, New Year's Eve and what to expect when you're expecting and stuff like that. But, I didn't even ask him, because, like, he was also supposed to be at Ratchet and Clank last night, but a lot of things have been coming up at the last minute, so the other day I was like, I'm not even, if I do, like, he's probably going to cancel at the last minute, and then I'd have to see it by myself. Actually, no, I would probably go home and see, and just be like, does anyone else want to go see this on a later date? So I just texted you, like, you want to see Mother's Day with me we saw Sisters together, we might as well see Mother's Day.
I just saw the trailer, it gives the whole thing away, and ew, see you Friday.
Mm-hmm. I wrote back like, hell yeah, fucking Mother's Day.
It's not even, like, targeted for, like, a younger woman demographic, because otherwise, yeah, I guess I'm the target demographic, but it's not my genre. This is old people demographic.
This is
old people.
Oh yeah, this is targeted at, like, people who probably watch like TBS sitcoms,
yeah,
or like modern day, like laugh track sitcoms and shit.
This is for if you want a mild chuckle. Don't get too excited now. Let's just calm it down.
If your idea of, like, a great sitcom, you're the same person. Like, if your idea of a great sitcom is like a Chuck Lorre bullshit, and your idea of, like, a great thriller is like NCIS. You're probably the same. Those are the same audiences, and that's the audience that was in this movie. And yeah, they liked it up, they ate it up. But me personally, I'm like, if you hate your mother, take her to go see this. My mom would hate this shit. Well, she would. I'll tell you exactly what my mom would like about this movie. My mom loves Jennifer Aniston, and she loves Jason Sudeikis. She likes the movie We're the Millers, which isn't awful, but I mean, it's better than this. She likes, like, that mainly just because it's got those two in it. So she would probably like the Jennifer Aniston, Jason Sudeikis stuff just because it's them. But she would most likely hate everything else about this.
Well, I mean, even if there were portions that are tolerable, which there are portions that are tolerable, like, overall, the movie, it's 2 hours long, and you gotta deal with all this other stuff. I didn't hate it like Sisters. I could watch it again, unlike Sisters, which is I just hate it.
No, I agree.
But it was not a good movie.
I would rather watch this than Ratchet and Clank, because at least I was watching this.
At least there are things to make fun of in it.
In Ratchet and Clank?
No, in this.
Oh, in this? Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I was honestly watching this like, well, I've done the two other movies called Mother's Day on the Snob. Like, maybe I'll do this one too. And I'm watching, like, I kind of know what jokes I would make in this, because it sort of is like watching, like I said at the beginning, like a Pure Flix movie, but without the Jesus stuff in it.
Do you like movies that completely flatline? Movies that aren't like slopes and climaxes and all that? If you like movies that are just one tone through the whole thing, you'll enjoy Mother's Day.
I said the same thing last night about Ratchet and Clank. Like, it's... Yeah, they're both similar in that regard, but this movie held my attention more. It's... I don't even know what else I gotta... were there any other plot lines or anything about this movie? it's I remember
They
one more
have
thing.
the white guy rapping going on.
Oh, where the girl says like this. Yeah, this is in the trailer where he falls off of the thing when he's rapping.
He falls off and breaks his leg, and then cut to everyone's looking over, but sort of like no one's really concerned. It's like his leg is twisted around, but which sounds funnier than it is. But I was kind of laughing at like how non-reacting everyone was in a like they were trying to make it to soften the blow for the movie.
They were trying to make it a sitcom.
Yeah, and then like there's like this little black boy that's sort of dancing.
Yeah, he's kind of dancing in
like,
the background.
What a bunch of assholes.
And the bigger lady is like, this is what happens when white people rap. Like, they fall off the porch and break their ankle.
Okay, like, she kidnapped his kids.
Yeah.
To take them to see their mom at the cemetery. And it's like, excuse you. Yeah. Like, he wakes up and he's like, oh my god, I don't know where my kids are. And she's like, oh no, they're with me. Because he's like, well, I don't think we should celebrate Mother's Day. You know, because they're sad about their mom dying. And it's like, I think we should just skip the day. Which is like, that's totally their right.
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do. But instead, she's like, we're going to make sure you do something. And then, like, kidnap the kids, take them to the cemetery, and be like, excuse me, you cannot take my children. You're not my friend anymore. Goodbye.
Well, she's part of his entourage of lady friends. It's okay for them to kidnap the kids. Again, a plot line done way better in Mr. Mom when he has his entourage of lady friends and they all play poker and smoke cigars and they go to a male strip club. I love that movie. I just love the movie Mr. Mom. Like,
go see Mr. Mom.
Yeah!
That's the recommendation. Watch Mr. Mom.
Watch Mr. Oh, seriously. I love that fucking movie.
Happy Mother's Day, Mr. Mom.
I remember one more thing I was gonna say. I've not seen Valentine's Day. I've not seen the entirety of New Year's Eve. I've seen some of it, and I've seen Matthew's video on it. It seems like, from the little bit that I've seen of that movie and seeing this, it appears, as really bad as this is, it seems like New Year's Eve is probably the worst movie of the two. Like, that had plot lines in it of, like, two women going into labor and they're trying to race it because there's $1 million prize to be like the first baby born on you or some shit like that.
Sounds intolerable.
Oh yeah, and like Ashton Kutcher is like the waxing poetic hipster douche, like stuck in an elevator or some shit, and Robert De Niro is dying and wants to see the ball drop one last time, and Nurse Halle Berry takes him up to the rooftop to watch the ball drop, and then it drops, and he dies. That's how that works. Does he get a prize since he's the first one dead on New Year's Eve? He gets a gold casket. It's honestly as bad as this movie is. It seems like we might have gotten the better one of those two.
Good lord. Just skip all of them. Just don't.
Oh, and I was kind of waiting for an outtake like this to happen in this. There's an outtake in New Year's Eve, because again, this movie, New Year's Eve, and Valentine's Day, all Garry Marshall movies. So there's a part in New Year's Eve where the lady is given birth. Oh, this is in the blooper reel. She's giving birth, and then the doctor's like, oh, what's this? And holds up a DVD copy of Valentine's Day. I was so waiting for that to be in the blooper reel of this, like, I don't know, Jason Sudeikis is like picking lint out of like his like cast on his foot. And like, what's this? A copy of New Year's Eve?
All that humor just makes me sadder.
So you think we got the better of the two movies?
Because at least the bloopers in this one were funny.
Yeah.
Like, if that was in there, I'd be like, nah, ruined it. Mm-hmm. Ruined it.
Nope. No.
Your one saving grace. Nope. Ruined it.
Mother's Day is ruined.
let's face it. Mother's Day is ruined.
Face it, guys. Mother's Day is ruined. Remember when the anthology films... Remember the anthology films from the 90s where Tim Roth was a bellhop watching bratty kids? What happened to those movies?
You know, we got these stupid hats.
Ready to go see Purple Rain?
Let's do it.
All right. Happy Mother's Day.